Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back, Jamie here, and today we're going to be doing another horror discussion of a franchise that's near and dear to my heart, Halloween, one of my favourite slashers of all time. Before we get started though, I just want to say I'm only going to be ranking the films that feature Michael Myers, so Halloween 3 will not be inside this list, but everything else will be. Hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. Starting off the list at number 10, we've got Halloween Resurrection, the worst film inside this franchise in my opinion. There's so much stuff wrong inside this film. I can't even come up with good points. The only good value of the film is the first 10 minutes with Laurie Strode coming back, played by Jamie Lee Curtis of course. It takes place after H2O, and they retcon the whole Michael Myers thing dying, so you know, the first 10 minutes are basically the best part of the film, and then they kill Laurie off in, you know, typical fashion, which is ridiculous. And we go to all these nobody characters, including Busta Rhymes, who's constantly making a joke out of Michael Myers, which is something you do not do. Never make a joke about Michael Myers, especially at the part where he dresses up as Michael and starts stalking, comes face to face with Michael Myers, tells him to get out of the house, and Michael actually does it. He follows along what Busta Rhymes tells him. That's not Michael Myers. That's a bitch. Also, the other lines at towards the end of the film, trick or treat motherfucker, and all this, and he's karate kicking Michael Myers. It's just, oh no. This film is atrocious, and that's why it's number 10. It's at the bottom of the list because it's the worst of the franchise. I never watch it when I do reruns of the films. I just completely forget about it, and that's the way it should be. Moving on to Moving on to number 9, we got Halloween 5. To be fair, this is a little bit better than Resurrection. It's got a little bit more better characters, but there's so many problems with the film. The main being the mask. Like, what the fuck were they thinking? What is with all this neck space, like this stuff on the neck? Like, what? How could they fuck up the mask? This is the problem with this franchise. The mask constantly changes, and it's like, why can't you just keep it the same? But yeah, we've got the mask, that's the main issue. The characters and the way they're treated is ridiculous. Obviously, this is carrying on from number 4, which is what I'll talk about later. But you've got Laurie Strode's daughter, Jamie, played by Danielle Harris, who's a good actor. You've also got Rachel, who's another good character, and she gets killed off inside this film, which is absolutely ridiculous. And speaking of characters, Jamie can't even speak most throughout this film. She's a mute for most of it, which is just ridiculous. You've got Dr. Loomis, who's completely acting out of character. He's gone completely batshit crazy. He's, you know, basically kidnapping Jamie to use her as bait. He's like, oh, he's holding her up and all this, and it's just, what were they thinking? And the cop characters as well, was that supposed to be funny or something? With all this goofy ass music and the way they're walking like clowns and shit. Like, I don't understand. The only good sequence of the film, really, is towards the end inside the Michael Myers house, which looks nothing like the Michael Myers house. Again, what the fuck were they thinking? But when Jamie's inside the chute going down and Michael's stabbing her with a knife, it's an alright sequence, but even when they filmed that, apparently that was risky. There was a lot of risk involved. But yeah, this is number 9, Halloween 5, man. It's just, there's barely any good shit about it. Moving on to number 8, we've got Halloween, the remake, 2007, by Rob Zombie. Now, just before I start talking about this, I just want to point out, I am a fan of Rob Zombie. As you can see over there, I've got Devil's Rejects poster. I love A House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. Oh, his other films are a bit hit and miss, and I'm looking forward to Free From Hell. But this remake was just totally unneeded. It's basically a shot-for-shot remake. Apart from the first 30 minutes as the prologue, when we get Michael Myers as a kid, which, no, what is with this backstory? Just making him into he's got a redneck family, he gets beat up, and, oh, this makes Michael Myers, come on now. No, either make it no reason at all, or like, have something better than that. But yeah, like, it's a shot-for-shot remake of the original. But obviously Rob Zombie's got a lot of good cast, including his wife. They're all back inside this film, which I'm a fan of. To be fair, I am a little bit. I do like the people he gets inside his films. And he's also got Danielle Harris, who I mentioned before. She played Jamie in the original. Now she's back, which is a good choice of actor, really. But I mean, to be fair, out of all the remakes we've got, Halloween, the remake, it's not bad. But this is why it's number 8, because it's just, No, no, I don't enjoy it. Number 7, we've got Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2, taking place straight after the original. The reason why this is, I mean, it is a good film, don't get me wrong, but it's sort of slow. I do like how it takes place straight after the original, you know, the same night. As soon as we end, we carry on with Halloween 2. Obviously, we got Loomis, he's a good character. Laurie Strode, she's good as well, but it's just most of it's inside that hospital. Don't really pick up until, you know, quite a ways through the film. It is a good film, don't get me wrong, but it's not one of my favourites. I don't find myself wanting to watch it all the time. But you know, it's a John Carpenter film, so obviously it's got merits. It's got its good points, but it's not one of my favourites of the franchise. Moving on to number 6, we've got Halloween 4. This film is great. Let's just do a little backstory. We had Halloween 1 and 2 by John Carpenter. The studios wanted him to carry on, but he didn't want to keep doing Michael Myers, so he made Halloween 3 about the masks and stuff, nothing to do with Michael. So obviously John don't want to come back. They're like, well, how do we continue the series? Oh, I know. We'll have Laurie Strode have a daughter, and we'll follow her, played by Danielle Harris, who's a good actor when she was a kid as well. Rachel, like I mentioned before, she's a good character. Even the sheriff, they're all good characters inside this film, including Loomis. Michael, the mask is great. Obviously it's not as good as the original, but it is better than what we got in a few other films. The atmosphere is pretty amazing as well. The kills are good. It's a good film. It is a good film. This is why it's, you know, near the bottom. I mean, near the top. It's near the top of one of my favourites because I do find myself watching it quite a bit. It is good. Number 5, we've got Halloween 2, the remake, the sequel to the remake by Rob Zombie. Now, obviously you might be thinking, oh, is this a remake of Halloween 2, the original? No, this is just Halloween 2, where it's Rob Zombie's complete own story. It's not a remake of anything. The only way you could say it's a remake is of the first act of the film, even though it's a dream sequence, takes place inside a hospital, just like the original Halloween 2. But apart from that, it's completely new. I love the way he deals with trauma after Laurie. You know, she's been viciously attacked by Michael. How does she deal with this all afterwards? Even Loomis. I know it's a complete change of character, but he's like, you know, he's power hungry. He's, you know, he wants fame, and he's got this book, and he's on an ego trip. Obviously, I didn't mention this before, but the sheriff, Brad Dourif, the voice of Chucky, amazing actor. And his daughter is Danielle Harris in this. And when, you know, well, spoilers ahead, obviously, there's going to be spoilers throughout. But the death scene, the way it reacts to her, it's so raw and real. You feel like this guy's just lost his daughter. It's quite heartbreaking, really. But obviously, there's a few bad points with the film. Mainly, Michael Myers speaking. Rob, what were you thinking? Why would you have Michael Myers, this big, scary, intimidating dude, say something, and of all things, die? Come on. You couldn't think of anything better than that. You shouldn't have had him speak to begin with, really. That's my only complaints of the film. I know obviously a lot of people don't like this film. I'm in the minority here, but I mean, the dream sequences with the horse and the mum, yeah, I could do without them. Obviously I could do without Michael speaking, or without him looking like a hobo for most of the film. But the mask, I didn't mention this, the mask is good as well, the way they've deteriorated it. Sort of like the original, I mean the new one, what I'll get to soon. But overall I do like this film. It's got a few bad points. Most people hate it, but I think, you know, it's a Halloween film and it's something different. I mean, how many times have we just seen Michael going about slashing people? We never deal with the consequences, and that's why I like this film quite a lot. Alright, for number 4, I've got Halloween H2O, which was the return of Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, 20 years after the original film. This retcons most of the storyline. It basically, after 2, 4, 5, 6 do not happen in this timeline. And she has a kid who's a boy.
Prior to this point in time, somewhere in the past, the timeline skewed into this tangent, creating an alternate 1985.
But this film, it was one of the first Halloweens I've seen. It does hold up a little bit. I do like it quite a lot. It is quiet. In the night, you can tell it's a 90s film. It's got a 90s soundtrack, you know. It's even got the same writer as Scream. There's a few Scream soundtracks in there. H2O for its time, it was good. The mask, quite a few masks that he used throughout the film, even that CGI one. You know, you notice, when you notice when you watch it and you're like, this mask keeps changing. Like, keep up with one mask, guys, come on, don't keep changing it for a while. And also, I mean, obviously I'm not an actor or anything, but the person playing Michael, the mannerisms, everything about him, his stature, his posture, it was all wrong. That is not the way Michael should be. Especially that infamous sit-up, you know, Undertaker and Kane copied as well. Like, when he does that, it's not Michael. So H2O, it is a good film, apart from the mask and the posture of Michael Myers. Moving on to number 3, I've got the original Halloween, the original by John Carpenter. Now obviously this is most people's favourite film of the entire franchise. I do like it quite a lot. It is number 3 of my personal favourites, but it's not the best in my opinion, although I do love it. There's barely any flaws I can point out about it. It obviously basically started the slasher trend. After that was Friday the 13th, so on and so on. Obviously Michael's intimidating in it. You got Loomis, you got Laura, but it is a slow burn a little bit, and some of the acting, it is a bit cheesy. Like, totally. I could do without that, but it is a classic. It's number 3. I'm not going to diss it too much because obviously it started the franchise. It basically started the whole slasher genre. So Halloween, the original, number 3.
Try me, bitch.
Moving on to number 2, I've got Halloween 2018, latest film inside this franchise. Now this is a little bit of debate back and forth between my second and first because I really do love this film, as you can see here. I've got the figure. This film was amazing. There's so much good stuff to say about it. The soundtrack, obviously they got John Carpenter back to do the soundtrack, which is the best soundtrack since the original. Characters, you got Laurie Strode, you got Jamie Lee Curtis back once again, thankfully, because the way they killed her off in Resurrection was just no. If that would have been the end of the character, quite a few of us would have been upset, so I'm thankful they brought her back. This film, I loved it. There's only a few flaws I've got with it, mainly as the Dr. Sartain character. Like, I understand the twist, I like the twist, but it's just the fact that he put the mask on of Michael, and then he's got a broken arm and there's just a few flaws there. Most people didn't like the comedy. I enjoyed the comedy. It's 2019 now. I mean, come on everyone, we've seen enough horror films, there should be some comedy. You can't just, the kid reacting and stuff, I enjoyed it. It was good. I don't know whereabouts to go with a sequel from here. I really thought they'd kill Laurie Strode off, but all 3, her daughter and granddaughter survived. So who knows where to go with the sequel idea, but they've already confirmed that, obviously the amount of money it's made, of course they're going to make a sequel. Also, the mask is just amazing. Like I mentioned, a few of the masks past here, but this mask is spot on. Amazing work. Even the guy playing Michael, he feels intimidating for his old age. He's still, this Michael's gonna fuck me up. You just feel that. It don't matter how old he is, he's still gonna fuck you up. So yeah, number 2, Halloween 2018. Now we have a quick drink before we get to number 1. Number 1 might be a surprise, it might not be. Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why the fuck would I choose this as my number 1 film? Well, let me explain. Obviously, a lot of people don't like the cult thing, but let me just point off straight away. I'm a massive fan. I've got the tattoo here. It wasn't the first Halloween film that I've seen, but it was one that I constantly watched with my brother years ago. This nostalgia for me. I know there's 2 cuts. You got the theatrical. You got the theatrical. I can't even say it. You got 2 cuts of the film, producers and theatrical. And if you put them both together, like Drum Dums have a popular YouTube channel on here, there's a great film to be found within both. Obviously, you cut stuff out of both, like the whole rape angle. Some people don't like the cult, controlling Michael. I sort of do, in a way, until he just completely loses it and he just starts stabbing them all inside that operation scene. That is badass. People don't like Paul Rudd's acting. I like Paul Rudd. I think this is one of his first films he did. But if you think about it, he's supposed to be playing Tommy from the original film, the kid who was being babysat. After you went through that, you're going to become a little bit traumatic. You're going to be, like people say he's smiling and shit, he looks goofy, but I think it fits with the way he's reacting to this guy who, has traumatized him since he was a kid. Obviously, this is the last film of Dr. Loomis, played by Donald Pleasence. Some people might say, oh, it's a bad film to go out on, but I feel like there's this somber, this tone towards the end where he goes back in. He's like, oh, I've got business to attend to. And like I said, if you combine both cuts, I feel like there is a good film. The atmosphere is amazing. It really does feel like Halloween and a Halloween film. The mask, I know I mentioned this in the last about Halloween 2018, but before then, this mask was just incredible. Michael is, you know, he's big, he's intimidating the way he should be. He's taking no mercy. It's amazing. So everyone, this has been my ranking of the Halloween franchise. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Let me know your ranking of all of them. Let me know why you think I'm wrong choosing Halloween 6, my personal favourite. Hit subscribe, and also let me know what other horror franchise you'd want me to do in the future. I'm going to keep doing these videos. Thanks for supporting. Peace out.